is totally different.
Yeah.
So I wish they would bring more movies back.
Bringing the classics back to the future.
Your kids are going to love it.
Quinn Baumgartner, CBS News, Los Angeles.
This is Kcal News, Los Angeles.
This is video taken by a witness just after 9.
A vigil tonight for a desperate man who ran from immigration agents and died on the 210 freeway. 2 months later, his loved ones say his death is being swept under the rug.
Single-family homes out. In their place, 9-story apartment buildings, as long as they're close to public transit. The controversial new law hoping to fix California's housing crisis.
And the story of a West Hollywood cat who went viral for all the wrong reasons, proving you can't always believe everything you see on the internet. Good evening, everyone. I'm Pat Harvey.
I'm Rudy Bay Shabazi. A controversial new law signed by Governor Newsom today to help ease California's housing crisis.
It allows developers to replace single-family homes near subways, light rails, and high-speed bus stations with apartment buildings up to 9 stories tall all across the state. And Kcal political reporter Tom Waite is live in Tarzana tonight with a reaction from local leaders and residents. Tom?
Well, as you can imagine, Pat and Rudy, there is a whole lot of mixed reaction to this new law, and it could change neighborhoods like this. It may take a very long time, but this is all single-family homes where I'm standing here in Tarzana. But this new bill, because this area is close to a bus station, that could mean more apartment buildings. From SkyCal, a look at the G-Line station on Oxnard Street in Tarzana. When we zoom out, you'll see the station is surrounded by single-family homes. But soon, that could all change at this corner and across the state. Friday, Governor Newsom signed into law a new bill that will allow developers to build high-density housing, like apartment buildings, around subway, light rail, and high-speed busway stations, even if city zoning laws say no.
Right now, so many of our best transit stops in California are surrounded by single-family homes, very low density, so very, very few people can actually walk to transit because they can't live anywhere nearby it.
Northern California State Senator Scott Wiener authored the bill known as SB 79. The new law will allow developers to build apartment buildings up to 9 stories tall in some areas, even in neighborhoods with single-family, single-story homes. And the new law prevents city and county leaders from blocking the projects.
So now we'll be able to have more apartment buildings and condo buildings and affordable housing and townhomes within walking distance, within a half a mile of transit.
Tens of millions of dollars have been spent on expanding LA's metro and bus system. Still, many LA leaders are skeptical of the new zoning law, including LA Mayor Karen Bass, who said in a statement that she supports the legislation's intent, but says the new law currently diminishes neighborhood input on planning and zoning. Over the summer, LA City Council members, in an 8-5 vote, approved a symbolic resolution opposing the new state zoning law.
SB 79 would essentially say that one size fits all, and it takes nothing into account about the work that the city of Los Angeles has engaged in.
A one-size-fits-all mandate from Sacramento is not safe, and it's not responsible.
Other council members said while they did not fully support the new law, they also would not completely oppose it.
Our housing crisis is too dire for us not to engage constructively with this bill and its goals, which is to build more housing near transit, which LA does not currently do in adequate amounts.
You can't have your cake and eat it too. If you want the solution to these issues, the homelessness, permanent supportive housing sites, then build them in your district.
For residents like Jennifer Caldera, who lives near the G-Line station on Oxnard Street, more density is concerning.
I mean, for the housing shortage, I guess it could be seen as a good idea, but as someone that lives in the area and everything, I hate it because of parking and everything. We already have such an issue with like additional dwelling units.
Yeah, it seems like that's kind of the consensus. A lot of people scared about the whole parking issue. The idea, of course, is to have people using mass transit so they don't have to use their cars. But, you know, that's a tough sell here in L.A. There are about 150 transit stations that would be impacted by this new law. It takes effect in July of next year. Reporting live in Tarzana, I'm Tom Waite, Kcal News.
Tom, thank you. Also securing the governor's signature, a package of bills aimed at rebuilding the areas burned in the January wildfires. Some of the laws signed by Governor Newsom include a framework to find temporary shelter for people displaced by disasters, funding for workers impacted by wildfires, clarification for permitting and insurance rules, and even cracking down on people impersonating first responders. Newsom also signed 2 bills to help Californians harden their homes and communities against future wildfires.
If you're a woman who lives in LA, I need you to watch this video, particularly if you're a woman who lives in the Valley.
New tonight at 9, a video that's gotten a lot of attention on social media, now also getting the attention of the LAPD.
Kcal News assignment editor Mike Rogers is at the desk. And Mike, you and the team on the desk have actually been working on this for quite a while.
Yeah, Pat Rudabay, this crossed our desk last Saturday, and we've been digging into it ever since then. I've actually had conversations with women who have had interactions with this man that they're talking about over the last couple of days. Now, what this video says is that basically a man is going around the San Fernando Valley, and he's asking women for help to move a box, and it's making the women uncomfortable. Take a look at the TikTok video that was posted.
There is a man who is approaching young women who are alone, and he's faking an injury and asking them to help move a box from the passenger seat of his car to the trunk of his car.
So this is Elizabeth. She posted the video on TikTok after she had this encounter. Now, in an interview earlier this week, she told me that she pulled up on Ventura Boulevard and a man came up behind her, said his arm was injured, had a bandage on, a blue bandage, and asked her to move that box from the front of his car to the back of his car. Now, she immediately said she was suspicious because of a post she had seen on Facebook from over the summer describing the same thing. She told him no and then posted that video to TikTok. She says after she posted that video to TikTok, more than 20 women commented saying the same thing happened to them. She is concerned and wants to get the message out.
The response has been completely overwhelming. I don't know if this guy has nefarious intentions, but it's alarming behavior that's making a lot of people uncomfortable, and I'm glad I posted the video because I think that the community deserves to keep an eye out, especially since we don't know what his intentions are.
Now, part of the reason we haven't reported this story until today is because up until today, the LAPD said they were not investigating this case. In fact, Elizabeth told me she went to the North Hollywood police station and were told she could not file a report because no crime had been committed or no crime was being alleged. And that still remains the case. LAPD says their North Hollywood detectives are looking into it. They're speaking with the women involved. And I've had a conversation, as I mentioned, with several of the women involved, and none of them describe criminal activity, but they do describe that the man makes them uncomfortable and they're concerned about what his motives might be. So as of tonight, the LAPD says they are investigating, and this video certainly now making the rounds on TikTok.
All right, thanks so much, Mike. Well, thousands of federal workers were laid off today as the government shutdown drags on. Hardest hit agencies include Health and Human Services, Education, and Treasury departments. The shutdown is on track to extend into next week. Congress remains deadlocked on a funding plan. The House is out of session, while the Senate isn't scheduled to hold any votes until Tuesday.
Shame on the Democrats for doing this to the American people.
Republicans have the House, the Senate, and the presidency. They decided to shut the government down.
Airport staffing also hangs in the balance. 12 air traffic control operations have been short-staffed at some point today, but union leaders are pushing back, telling air traffic controllers to show up and keep the skies safe.
Food banks are bracing for an influx of new clients as the shutdown nears a third week. The Foothill Unity Center in Monrovia is already busy with grocery pickups 3 days a week, and organizers tell Kcal they anticipate a flood of new clients as more federal workers face furloughs. One of the food bank volunteers has felt the impact personally.
Her mother said to pray for her because she had been, laid off. And I said, well, prayer is good, but money's better. So I sent her some money.
SNAP and WIC recipients nationwide are also set to feel the pinch within weeks due to a pause in nutrition benefits. Well, we're keeping a close eye on SoCal airports as the shutdown impacts staffing ahead of the holiday weekend. You might remember Monday when the Hollywood Burbank Airport operated without air traffic controllers for several hours. They told us today staffing will not be an issue this weekend. LAX and Van Nuys airport officials tell us, quote, employees of the FAA, CBP, and TSA who provide essential services to the traveling public will continue to work. Los Angeles World Airports does not anticipate major impacts to operations during this time.
Remembering an immigrant father tonight killed while trying to escape ICE in Monrovia.
We first told you about the deadly raid in August, reported by our team of journalists dedicated to covering immigration stories,
including our Kcal Dt. She's live in Monrovia tonight, and she spoke with the family as they continue to search for answers. Nicole?
That's right. And you know, federal officials have said they weren't going after this man that day and didn't even know who he was. But his family told me tonight that he was terrified of getting caught up in one of these immigration raids. And he told them that very recently, before this incident happened. They also say they believe he was chased through this parking lot that day and thought that he had to run for his life. Nearly 2 months have passed since a man ran into traffic on the 210 in Monrovia. He was hit by a car and killed while fleeing an immigration raid at this Home Depot parking lot. And his family says they're no closer to getting any answers about the investigation.
My family don't want this tragedy pass like it's the traffic, the accident, like regular. No, it's not, because my uncle don't need to die.
Mariela Mendez says her uncle Carlos Roberto Montoya Valdez was a father of 4 and a grandfather of 5 from Guatemala. She says in his home country, he lived in fear that he couldn't feed his family. So he came to work in the U.S. as an undocumented immigrant, where he lived in fear of deportation.
He said it was terrible for him to come. Some days he can't find a job, and he is scared to go anywhere. So, but he need to do it to be sure from my family has something.
Department of Homeland Security officials have maintained that federal agents were not pursuing Montoya Valdez during the raid here back in August, and say Highway Patrol notified them of the incident hours later. But others disagree.
Witnesses have mentioned that he was being chased and he was running out of fear, out of terror.
Ali Seja is a community organizer bringing together a coalition of nonprofits and faith leaders tonight to demand justice for Montoya Valdez.
It looks like the escalation of violence against migrant communities in this country is not going to stop for a while.
And for other undocumented immigrants who have died in detention.
And he was just dehumanized, and we have received no answers of whether or not an independent investigation has occurred.
His family says the government doesn't care why he was hit by a car and killed, and investigators won't show them any videos of what happened.
The investigator only talked to us one time.
Well, his family says he thought it would be impossible to become a U.S. citizen because it would take money and years that he simply didn't have. They say he took the risk to be here because he wanted to give his grandchildren a better life. Reporting in Monrovia, Nicole Comstock, Kcal News.
Nicole, thank you. Clearing up the count.
LA Homeless Services releasing its final report on the state of homelessness in LA County.
The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department to come out